everyone. Hello, everybody. Come on in. Happy Thursday. My day was fine, Island Girl. How are you? Fine, Shandy. Yes, grateful for another day together. Hi, everyone. This week was kind of like fast. It was just like Tuesday. We just like, I feel like we just met like 2 minutes ago or something. But anyway, come on in. I will say I am, it's been a long day. I am tired, but I was like, okay, it's too late to cancel. Good evening, Spanish and everyone. Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's talk immigration. What's been going on? I've screamed too much today. At work, my assistant was like, I was like, yeah, immigration. Yeah, it is immigration. Hi, Miss Edna Sanctuary. Hi, everyone. This is Attorney Abisola Adibola. Hola, hola. Let's just leave that alone. Hola, le. I've never even thought about it. It just literally occurred to me right now. Like, even my last name has Ola in it. Well, acquired last name. Because that's my ex-married name. But also, all my names have Ola. We need to bring my mom on one day and just question her. Like, mommy, Ejo, I February question. Question and answer session. But hi, everyone. This is Attorney Abisola Adibola Olalaye, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, if it's a case that we handle, call us. Let us help you out. Omo Baba Sam. that's yeah, don't forget that part. Omo Baba Sam. I miss my dad. I'm telling you. It's if you have your dad is still alive and well, your parents generally, but if you are a daddy's girl and your dad is still alive, hold on tight, because the feeling it doesn't get better. You learn to deal with it. But anyway, hi, Miss Savannah. How are you? Welcome on to I dare say, the most positive space when it comes to talking all things immigration, where we support one another and we give thanks and we just encourage one another and we share testimonies and look forward to more testimonies and have zero tolerance for nonsense, zero tolerance for negativity. Do me a favor, y'all. Let me just say this, especially after Tuesday. If you see a comment in the comment section of someone who is miserable, right? Or someone who is, because, like the guy from Tuesday, I was just thinking, I was like, I was like, sometimes you don't know, maybe he's someone who's like 6 foot tall, right? And he's miserable because he even though he's 6 foot tall, he's got to deal with 2 inches of, he's got to live with 2 inches, if you know what I mean. So you don't know what may somebody may be miserable or something. So if you see that, come, just ignore it. Don't even give life to it. If I see it, fine. If I don't, it doesn't make any difference. So we keep moving. But anyway, if we can help you with your immigration case, please contact us 334-341-4475 olalayalawfirm.com. Share, like, follow, subscribe YouTube channel at Olalaye Immigration. Please don't cry. You don't know. He may be real tall, but then if all the men stood together, he's probably not going to be able to be the locker room or something. So you don't know. You just never know what somebody's dealing with. And people like that have to take it out on other people. And, that's why I wore even more sleeveless today. So that... But anyway, thank you always for all those who come in so we can share with one another and rejoice with one another. And like today, hardly do you see me out of short of words. Like, that's what I do for a living. I argue and talk for a living. But this case, Miss K's case, the pun, I didn't see... That's, God will do some things, and like when you think God cannot outdo himself, he would shock you, and you would understand that this is just pure miracle. That's what this case today was about. You know, when you call a client and she literally screams and is crying because, I mean, how do you go from an RFE from a NOID, from an intense interview, from a denial, and having, you know, them allege that your marriage was a sham marriage, to no RFE, no NOID, no interview, 751s are taking forever, and you have yours approved in just 1 year? That right there is what this is all about. That right there is where you say, this is nothing about what I did. This is pure God. God stepped in because God stepped in. That's all it is. And that's why we come together and share stories like that, so that if somebody can be encouraged, someone who thinks, because in her case, when I remember vividly when we met last year, February, and I read through the denial notice, like, you will not see February with this. But, you know, I always tell people, do I get cases denied? Absolutely. I don't know. I'm not one attorney who's going to do safe cases. I don't do safe cases. I do straightforward cases, but I have an attention span of a 2-year-old. I do cases where, like, okay, I mean, I'll tell you up front, this is what may, but we'll take a chance at it. You know, we're gonna give it a shot, because you just never know. And so, you know, God is just merciful. God is faithful. And, you know, just like her case, I pray that as we come together each and every time, we're able to share even much more testimonies of one another and encourage one another, because at the end of it all, I can tell you, listen, even if I get to the end of life and there is no God, I would not have wasted time, because I know that things like this make it very clear that it's not any power any man or woman has. It is beyond you. It is not human power. It is favor all around. You know, I think, you know, one of the posts I do the personal motivation stuff myself, when we have someone who does our social media work stuff. But, you know, one of the things that I usually start my month, each month, with fasting and all. And it was just about speaking favor into this month, speaking favor into things that, and speaking life into situations that look like we're just hanging by a thread. Because there's absolutely nothing God cannot favor. There's nothing God cannot resurrect. And so that's what this is all about. So I appreciate you guys always coming in and joining, and just giving life and hope to one another, and knowing that even if, like Miss Kate, she's been on this since 2019. I mean, actually, she got her 2-year green card in 2017. So that's the last time she had a green card. So imagine 7 years later, there's nothing God cannot resurrect. So let's just keep coming together and celebrating one another. All right, let's talk immigration. So tonight, I want to talk about, I think one of the things that I put up earlier, we talked about this. So let's talk about the Asylum Executive Order, update on that. What is it? Who does it apply to? We've had so many people call our office. I've got consultations done, like, I guess it's like in so when you apply, when you approve asylum, you know, that's not what we say. So let's dissect that and talk. Don't be calling my office after and say, hey, I didn't hear what you said. No, now it's the time to come listen. So if you've got an asylum case pending, you intend to file an asylum case, just know whether or not it applies to you. I needed to hear that. Thank you. So y'all already know. We know it's election year. Elections are coming up. Everyone is doing what's going to pay their party, because President Biden has been in office for at least almost 3.5 years, right? Yeah, well, 3.5 years. None of this happened. Now, all of a sudden, we've got 5 months from election, and now he wants to close the border and deny asylum to those who cross the border. Come on now, that's complete BS. We already know what it's about. But what is this executive order? So basically, in a nutshell, it is saying that he's putting an executive order because it says they have to control people crossing the border. That's become a security issue. It's become overwhelming for Border Patrol. So here is what is going on. If you normally when you get to the port of entry, the border, whether be through Mexico, through Texas, through New York, whatever case it may be, and you don't even have any papers, and you present yourself and seek asylum. That's part of the immigration law in the United States, that you can appear and seek asylum. They give you a credible fear hearing. Sometimes they do not, but they put you in removal proceedings. They give you a court date. They admit you, quote unquote, admit you in. Sometimes you're detained for a while and then you're released, but you're able to do that. What this executive order, hello, Miss Mary, is going to do is, they say it is temporary, right? Not a permanent order, is temporary. And temporarily, they want to control the number of people who cross the border. So we're averaging thousands of people who cross the borders into the United States each day, not even each month, on a daily basis. And what this order is going to do is, if you do not have legal documentation, meaning you've got a visa, you have CBP1 in, you're paroled in, you appear at the border, and you're seeking asylum, basically, those people will not be able to apply for asylum for right now. So temporarily, if you don't have anything to show that you've got a legal basis to cross the border and be admitted or be inspected or be paroled into the United States, they're going to deny you access. You're not going to be able to apply for asylum. And in addition to that, they may charge you with a crime, or so you're not going to be able to apply for asylum. You will also now be put on expedited removal, meaning you won't even have, sometimes may not have a hearing, and the person may potentially face criminal prosecution and also receive up to a 5-year ban from coming into the United States. They say this is just temporary, and they're trying to reduce the number of people who seek admission at the port of entry, at the borders in the United States. I believe that they're trying to get that number to be under 2,500. So right now, it's either 2,500, 3,500, don't quote me now, but right now it's over that. And so they're trying to get the number to be under that daily. If they're able to achieve that goal, then they will lift this executive order and resume allowing people to apply and have credible fear hearings and all that. Now, it's not going to be applicable to everybody. So, for instance, if you really are in danger where you've got proof, or you've got, they call it compelling circumstances, and the CBP officers are satisfied that you've got something that falls within a compelling circumstance, then those people are exempt from being able to still apply for asylum, regardless of how many people are crossing in. Now, another question we got this, the past couple of days is, what about those who are already in the country or who have pending asylum cases? How does it mean your case is going to be canceled? No, it has nothing to do with anyone who has a pending case. It has nothing to do with anyone who already is in the country, even though you didn't come in legally. We're talking about people that are trying to come in now. They will not even be allowed to come in at all. That's the difference. So if you're already here, you've got the asylum pending, especially, and it doesn't apply to those who came in, like you came in with a visitor visa or some kind of non-immigrant visa, whatever case may be, and you now, apply for asylum before the end of your I-94 expiration, or before the 1 year period that you've been in the United States. That is not applicable to you. So this is and it's solely at the southern border. It's not on all the ports of entry. This is at the southern border, that because that's the point of entry that actually port of entry that actually has the highest number of people, non-immigrants, not citizens, trying to cross in the United States on a daily basis. Now, even some immigrants, and this is not surprising, there's some immigrants and even some immigration attorneys who feel this is going to be what is needed, because truth be told, there are there are millions of undocumented immigrants presently in the United States. So the argument can be, or that argument can hold water, in the sense of, there's so many people already, millions of people right here. Why don't we attend to those who are here first, rather than keep dealing with people coming in? Because obviously that's going to complicate things for those who are already in the United States, because you're not taking care of us here but you're allowing people in. That's how to make it make sense. I can understand, but then again, you don't know what people are fleeing from, right? You don't know what it is that people are having. I had a conversation with someone today who crossed the border back in February. This guy left his children, his wife, literally fled for his life. What really made it so? This man went through. He went through Brazil. He went through Brazil, went through Nicaragua, went through Panama. It was Chile, one of those countries, and he went through. Finally ended in Mexico. I think he went through about 7 countries, land, by air, on sea, to finally get to the port of entry. Do you really think that someone who is just desperate to come to the United States and nothing, they're not afraid of anything, is going to go through that? I mean, he said some days that he had a can of sardine that he had to eat for about 4 days. Can you just imagine? Yeah, just to be here. So everyone's case is different, but that's what it is right now. Everyone's going to be grouped. But I believe someone like him may fall within a compelling circumstance exemption. It would just be case by case. So you just never know what people are dealing with. But that's what's going on with this executive order. If hopefully that helps to put things in perspective, so you know whether or not it applies to your specific case. That's all she wrote. That's it. Short, straight to the point. Let's get to questions, as many as we can. Okay. Yes, absolutely. It is something. All righty. Thank you, Ms. Abena. I already see you on YouTube. Oh, if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome in. This is a live immigration show, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's Alabama time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody else, ask Google. All right, let's see. Thank you, Ms. Abena. Oh, Ms. Abena, I got your, what is it called? Biometrics today. They're going to reuse your prints, so there's no hurry to send it to you. Look, because I read all the notices in. Ashanti, my assistant, was like, "Wow, there's a lot." Yeah, it's a whole lot, but I read everything. I'm like, yes, I know what's going on in everybody's case. Marvelous, God alone. It is God alone. Hello, Miss Tina. How are you? I hope you're doing well. So yes, please share, like, follow, subscribe, all those good stuff. We would very much appreciate that. Okay. Disclaimer: answers to questions are general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. So just so you know, put your questions in the comment section. Please do not repeat questions. If it's repeated, I'm just going to skip right. So let's try to help out. Hello, inspired by Fola. How are you? Okay, let's see. Hello, Abdurazak. And we get that question every day. Thank you always for putting that up, Miss Illinois. Every single day, without fail. Okay, you're in Alabama. What's going to happen? So in Alabama, which very getting that very, Philly, Mumbai, or New York. Immigration is federal practice. So all I need to do to represent you in the state you live in is a state license. So I've got 2. I've got Alabama. I've got New York. So any of those licenses I can use to represent you in any of the states, right? That's how immigration is. So you don't have to worry about being in the same state. Okay. Let's see. It's amazing. I'm crying. God is awesome. He just leaves us short. I'm telling you. I was talking to someone when I was literally on the phone, and I was, I just finally finished. I had court today. I had child custody, child services court hearing. And so I just literally got back to the office and I was checking my mail. So it was the first night. So you know how you scan through your mail and you're looking for, because I already I'm looking for USCIS updates. cases. So whenever I said that's the first one I opened, and for a minute, I was like, whose case is that? And we have a system where everyone's case is listed. Like if you call me, if we get an alert from USDS, because obviously it doesn't come with names, it comes with just the receipt numbers. In less than 5 minutes, I can tell you whose case it is, even just having on my phone, because everything is stored in the iCloud, in the cloud somewhere. But we have a system where I can pull up anyone's receipt notice and tell you, oh, this is this person's case. So I was like, okay, let me see. And then I pulled it. I was like, what? The person that was stuck is like, I've got to call you back. Like, he was like, are you, I'm trying to be okay, but I can't talk. I literally I was frozen. I seen God in action, but I was like, what? Yeah, obviously I can share the information, but if I look back and went to pick up, I went to open her decision, 11-page decision, denial letter from the previous case. It's like, make it make sense. But that's God right there. God, Miss Sabrina says God's timing. I'm telling you. Hello, Miss Mazzella. How are you? God's plan is the best. It is. It is. Can a person with an approved I-130 case and I-45 pending travel out while his I-45 is pending? General information, nothing specific to anyone's case. But if you have a pending I-45, as long as you have a valid and approved I-131 advance parole, not one that is pending, not a pending application. You've got a valid, approved I-1 advance parole in your hand, whether it's the I-512 document that's been signed, it's got a date on it, or you've got a combo card that says you serve at I-512, you are eligible to travel. Whether or not you should travel, that's not a question I can answer because you're not a client of mine. So that's something you're going to have to ask your attorney. You're welcome, Inspired Lafula. Nice to see you as well, Miss Mary. Hello, Miss Tabirayo. How are you? Hello, Mama. My mom is on. I did turn 63. That's my mama. If you ever wonder where I got all my prayer skills from, I got it from my mama. My mama would pray and bring down the whole heaven. It's like, what? I tell you. So that's the only way I know. Let's see. I have a biometric appointment for my VAR. I have got the combo card. My question is, I haven't yet received prima facie. I applied for the full package last year, December. Okay. What is your question? You said your question is, you made a statement of the question. So is your question, Melania, are you asking why you haven't received the prima facie determination? Is that what you're asking? Because you didn't ask a question. You made a statement. If that's what you're asking, December is what, 6 months ago? I usually give it 7 months. By month 7, if we don't get anything, that's when I send an email to like, I want to know if people to send, and usually would tell me, okay, we'll send a courtesy copy or prima facie has been issued, something. So if you have an attorney, let your attorney ask them, send an email to them just to follow up and see what's going on. But I'll tell you that they're pretty fast with prima facie determinations now. We've got some cases that we filed in February, and we have, I think all the cases we filed, because we got about 13 of those, just thinking off the top of my head today. And we've got, it was February. Yeah. So we have the February case, prima facie case, determinations for February cases. We received them in the mail today. But I also know we have about 2 that were filed back in September of last year that we're just getting them. And one of them I had to send an email. So you just never know, but it's always good, best to just contact them once you hit that 6 to 7 months and you don't have a prima facie determination. Is it okay for a valve application to be transferred to another center? So I guess what you're probably asking me, Sophia, is you probably got a notice saying that we transferred your case, yada yada yada, to the office having jurisdiction. Um, they should have stopped that at this point, because USCIS had a policy where, to streamline the processing of VAW petitions, they are supposed to stop the transfer. So when we file VAW cases now, you're filing at the Nebraska Service Center. And then once they process in and all that, then they send it to the Vermont Service Center. And then that's when you get the alert that we transferred your case. USCIS recently, I want to say it was 2-3 weeks ago, said everything is not going to be processed at Nebraska Service Center. Officers who are experts in VAW cases will be adjudicating them there, and there will be no need to transfer. So I'm not seeing much of a transfer going on recently, but if you've had that in the past, that's basically them transferring your case from the Nebraska Service Center to the Vermont Service Center, because that's where VAW cases have been known to be processed. But things are about to change, so we should actually see a decrease in transfer notices. Oh, hold on. Let me charge my computer right here. Hold on 1 second, people. Before I lose power. Okay. Miss Ennis, actually, you've got the best lines. I'm telling you, your lines they give life. She said, on this U.S. soil. On this year, it's like can represent you in immigration cases. I mean, how else do you put it? That's how you can put it. Like, if you're on U.S. soil. I came to the southern border, got documented, and I was given a date to show up in court. What are the options available to get a legal status? Sit down with a lawyer to figure out what your options are. How long does it take to get a work permit through VAW? So I think that's the same use of here. If you filed your case in December, give or take, we're seeing anywhere from 5 months to about 9 months if you file the right one. Just make sure you didn't submit a C-31 work permit, because if you submit a C-31 work permit, you're going to be waiting until your VAW case is approved. If you want a work permit that's going to be issued while your case is pending, then you must have filed a 485 green card application so you can file a C9 work permit, category work permit. Oh, thank you, Finest Shandy. Yep, represent anywhere in the United States. She's Finest Shandy's in Maryland, and that's one of my clients. Your test and trust and verify. Mr. Brandon says, I watched one video on TikTok of someone's journey via the border, and I must say it's not easy. It is some people actually literally, some people lose their lives in trying to come to the United States. So, and it just, hello, Mr. Smith, how are you? Okay. All right, that's the answer, Miss Melanie. We're all beneficiaries of grandma's prayer because of successes. Amen. Thank you. Was that one of the cases? Because the time she was here, and she literally put anointed. But that much I know, that my mother prays for my clients. I'm not even trying to be funny. My mother literally prays for my clients. I mean, what else can you possibly ask for? So, thank you. We're already on our way heading to the southern border. We're currently in Colombia. Now, with the new law passed, do you think we should still continue with the journey or not? That's exactly what we're talking about. People that's going through Colombia. You just don't know what people are going through. You may or may not be allowed in because it's in effect right now. So if you have any other, I'm not saying cross the border illegally. Don't. I'm saying unless you know their story, unless you walk in their shoes, please just don't judge. But I cannot tell you what I can tell you is you may not be allowed in. So if you've got another option and another route to go, then you may want to explore that. But the southern border is where a lot of people it's easier for people, quote unquote, easier to get to. And so if you think you've got a compelling case, um, that's all I can say. But you don't want to risk having the 5-year ban though, from coming from Africa. That's exactly. See, they're coming from Africa. God knows what country. And do you mind me asking how long you've been on this journey? MTN quotes, how long have you been? So you speak Yoruba well. Okay. So I'm assuming Yoruba. Can you tell us how long you've been? People spend weeks just across. Mm. Or someone said you still have 5 countries ahead of you. Ideally, after your tracker shows card has been produced, how early should you expect the hard copy in the mail? That's a good question. I can speculate how USCIS, how fast they're going to work. If one got prima facie and it expired since last year, no renewal, the attorney has requested severally, no reply. Please, what do you advise? The advice is already 2 years. If I don't get a response from USCIS after I have asked them for an extension of the prima facie determination, I'm making a point to tell my client to remind me every 30 days until we actually get them to respond. That's just me. They've told me before, the ones that please stop emailing us. Like literally, yeah, it is what it is. If you want me to stop, then send me what I'm asking you for. I don't have to. I don't. It's not fun. Just send me what I'm asking for. That's all. So that's what I would do. Miss Sabina, right? She's got the best lines ever. Because that question should not be put. You're welcome, Miss Sophia. Okay, let's see. My vow is 4 months past processing time. They won't respond to inquiries. What next steps? Congressional assistance request, ombudsman assistance request, and if all else fails, sue them. That's it. Would expedite request help if VAWA is out of processing time and I'm dealing with significant mental health issues? I think it will. I think it will. I don't expedite just any case, because you're gonna, the expedited request is not part of standard representation, so you're gonna pay. That's what it is. But if I don't think we've got, if sometimes we're like, hey, let's do it. Some people just like, I just want to try it. Okay, that's the time I'm going to spend. But I will tell you if I think it's a valid ground. But there's some that I know that we've asked to expedite and they've granted that in less than a week, approved the case in less than 30 days after. You just never know. But if you're dealing with significant mental health issues, that might be a ground for you to try. What can I do? VAWA sent mail to me, but the post office returned it, but I have been calling them to send it back. No reply. They can't. If you call regarding a VAWA case on the phone, they will not give you any information. You literally have to send them a letter, or if you have an attorney in your case, your attorney can send an email to the Vermont Service Center on your behalf. Thank you, Ground, for the prayers always. I found my prayers from my clients. Yeah. They're technically out of present time since the I-130 dates. So I'll tell you one thing about the I-130 dates and present time. They may come back and tell you it's still within number present time, because I'm seeing them not apply that anymore. So yeah, I used to stress about that because, and I had some cases actually approved really within based on that. But I'm seeing that they're giving a lot of pushback with that. So they may not really be counting it from that window. When they approve your case, the priority date is going to be the date of the I-130. I'm just seeing that there's a lot of pushback with USCIS. They're not really applying that anymore. Can one change attorney for VAWA cases? You can change attorney for any case, but for instance, I don't take over cases without doing a FOIA request and review of your record. Even if you've got a complete copy of your record, I have to review your file, first of all, to know if it's a case I'm going to take. It's just not one of those cases you just take over without making sure you know what has been. And without being so specific, especially with information, little information off a little bit can really mess the whole lot the whole thing up. So I don't take the cases until I've done that. Then I review your file, and then I decide if it's a case I'm going to take. So, is that not immigration law? Can I sue for that? What I'm not sure I understand, coolest girl. What do you mean? Is that not immigration law? Can you sue? What do you mean by that? TikTok, I'm coming. I'll get you. Just hold on. Hello, Mr. Ude. How are you? Can an F2B category petition be approved at a U.S. legal embassy if the petitioner has since gone back to Nigeria? Generally, I didn't see any reason why not. Generally, I need to schedule a consultation. Mr. B, yeah, you can go on our website to schedule one. That's going to be the fastest way because my office is closed right now, obviously. So Lydia can send you a text. But that would be the fastest way to do that. I don't think I have anything. I may still have maybe some things on Monday. But yeah, y'all keep me busy. Not complaining. You can't sue about the priority date. It's not about the priority date. You can't sue about that. But if you're I'm saying if you're basing that the calculation of outside number of persons based on your I-130, it's going to be a 50-50 case because they may come back and say it's still within number of person time. So that's what I'm saying. I have a case where we actually got them to approve an expedited request, and they approved the expedited request back in December of 2023. Followed up with them like, okay, y'all just approved the expedited request. That was the third request we made. Finally approved the request, and up until end of May last week, ombudsman inquiry, congressional assistance, nothing. They came back and said, well, we're doing some background checks. Background checks of what? Like, this guy's been in this country since forever. Anyway, long story short, I don't do mandamus anymore, which is suing immigration. I usually refer those cases out. So long story short, my client, I referred him someone else. So they keep me abreast. They've just filed a lawsuit against USCIS because it's just ridiculous. If you're going to expedite, it what's the point of 6 months now? So it just depends on your case. Talk to a lawyer. If you have a lawyer in your case, have that evaluated to see if it's going to be the best option for you. I like your gap tooth. Well, thank you. My kids, my oldest kid told me one time to close it like, AG is older than your little ass. Well, it's not little anymore. So just leave it. And it's very unique because it's slanted. So, and when I came to this country, because back home, I don't know about the Caribbeans, but in Africa, having gap is a thing of beauty, really. But when I came to the United States and everybody wants to close it, it's like, that's how God made you. Everybody's going to look like everybody else. But anyway, thank you. If someone is disabled and due for citizenship, what will be the process? Please sit down with the lawyer to discuss that. When is the best time to apply for a 10-year green card after 2 years will expire December, 90 days before the expiration? Okay. All right. Thank you. What's advanced parole as 512? That's the document, I-512. That's advanced parole. So you either have it on your card that says serves as re-entry permit or advanced parole, actually, advanced parole I-512, or you have the green document itself. You got a response. Oh, finally, Ms. Mackey. Okay. Before you schedule another consultation, you send me the email you got. Let me see if it's something that I can. Obviously, I can just send me the email, and if it's something where you need to schedule a time, I'll let you know. But send me what you got. What is what is your cost for the legal fee to file a green card? I don't have set fees. You have to, we discussed that in the paid consultation. Is it okay to move to another state while my VA is pending? You can move anywhere you want. There's no requirement that you have to keep living with your abusive spouse. Okay. I don't know if they have sent it. My wife refuses to tell me since Pastor Mike, it's completely the ball is in your court at this point. We've talked about this. If they deny your case, then it's up to you. We've already talked about this. You know what you need to do. So yeah. Did you your first time here? Welcome. Thank you for joining. Been following you for quite a while. Although Mark, thank you. My VA is 4 months out. That's the same person on Instagram. Do all the adjustment of status require interview? No, they're still waiving interviews in some cases. For instance, the I-751 that got approved today, Ms. K's case, she had, if y'all even read through her interview, it was like, I don't think they're even, drill something. Someone who was in the charge with a crime of the way, no interview. So they have a right. They're still exercising discretion whether to waive it or not. What are some interview questions on marriage-based green cards? That's something you have to sit down with your lawyer for, or if you don't have a lawyer, pay one to prep you for that. If you go on our website, olalayalawfirm.com, or if you go on Instagram, I have a free ebook that has sample questions that you can use to practice. Just nothing. That doesn't mean that those are questions you're going to have to deal with, but it's about 100 questions, and those are questions that I've actually over the years taken down from different interviews. I am the VAWA green card holder. Can I apply to file for my 10-year-old niece whose mom just passed away? You can't just file for her. You've got to have a basis. There's no niece category, so you may want to look into adopting her and then filing for her as your adopted child. Is it a long time to wait for the removal conditions after applying for green card holders? It's funny because it's good for people like Miss K, but then it gets frustrating because then as soon as Kyla, our girl who does our post, put that up, I knew I was going to get calls. I knew I was going to get calls from our other clients that have their I-751 pending. So one of my cases has been pending since June of 2022. Another one has been pending since November of 2022. We haven't heard anything. And her case was filed in the exact day USCIS received Ms. K's case was June 12, 2023. 1 year. So there's no rhyme or reason with USCIS. I-751s are generally taking up to 4 years. Then that's why you have the 4-year extension. But that's what we're seeing. But most cases will take about that long. I-130 has been in process for 3 years. Husband had interview August in the requested tax info. Still haven't heard from embassy. What should I do? So if you're still waiting for an interview date, you're just going to have to wait unless you can transfer your case to another country. If I submit an I-130 to immigration and now wife wants a divorce, what happens next? Who's filing the I-130? You or the wife? I have a master hearing for a deportation case. What do you think they may ask me? Master hearing is just about the judge making you aware of your charges, and then they'll set a date for your individual hearing. If you have a lawyer, fine. If you don't, they may give you another chance to come back for the hearing after you've had a chance to get a lawyer. I have an H-1B status and a pending AOS and get a combo card. What would you use to re-enter visa or AP? I don't know about your case, but H-1B is a dual intent visa. That means that even if you use your visa to come back into the country, your adjustment status is not going to be deemed to have been abandoned because it's a dual intent visa. That means you can simultaneously have an application for green card even without applying for advanced parole. So, but I can't tell you which one to use. That's going to be your decision to make. You're not a client of mine. Okay, let's see. I haven't. I haven't. F1 STEM OPT job approved I-140, married with a baby. Worth the risk to go renew my visa? That's not a question I can answer. That's the decision you have to make. If you don't have a lawyer, then sit down with one first of all. Let's see. Can I file both I-130 and I-45 online based on marriage with a U.S. citizen or on paper? You can file an I-130 online. You cannot file an I-45 online. Ooh, I wanted to. Let's see. Okay. Can a prior marriage affect my green card? My spouse filed for her ex a year ago. Can a prior marriage affect my green card? My spouse filed for her ex. How does that affect your case? I'm trying to understand how does filing for an ex affect your case? Can I apply for citizenship while waiting for my 10 years green card? If you are eligible, yes. Mr. Mike, I think we already sent you the constitution information. So that's if you go to our website, that's the fastest way. But you have it. I think my assistant sent it to you again. So that's completely up to you. Okay, Miss Mackey, it may not be tonight because I'm really tired. So I may just be done and shut this whole thing up. Can a person with removal but states to be determined 9 years apply for vow from a marriage 15? Sly, can you rephrase your question? I have no clue what you're asking me. Okay. What if your I-539 is denied? What next? Sit down with a lawyer to figure out what your options are. Okay. Being that the border will be closed. Nobody said the border would be closed. How do y'all just make conclusions? How do y'all just make conclusions? How did you go? Did I say the border was going to be? Being that the border will be closed, does that mean embassy will be issuing visa or with the family base and move faster? How will the border be closed? What does asylum people seeking asylum have to do with MVC? I'm trying to make Dwayne. I'm trying to understand what. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see if there are the questions here. Let's see. What option does one who came through southern border got documented have to have a legal? I'm not sure. If you ask the question in legal another way, it doesn't change the fact that I said you have to sit down with a lawyer. So, hello, Blue Trillions. It's been a minute. How have you been? Okay. So there is a notice of removal issued 9 years ago. You mean order of removal, okay? But ICE never set a date. But there was. Oh, so you mean a notice to appear in immigration court? You're married to the person 15 years ago. Can you apply for a VA? As long as you are you divorced? Sly. So are you divorced now? So are you divorced now? When was the divorce? When was the divorce final? If your divorce was final more than 2 years ago, you don't qualify for VA anymore. You have to have you. If you qualify for VA after divorce, as long as the final date on the divorce is no more than 2 years. So if it's more than 2 years, you're out of luck. So that's 2008. That's 16 years ago. That's not going to work. I have final order of removal. My husband wants to sponsor me. I want to know the documents to support for cancellation and so we'll start collecting. Sit down with the lawyer to discuss that. I don't give checklists out if you're not a client. Persia, your head. Thank you. Okay, people. I think we got to almost all the questions, if not all. So, but the border, Joanne, no one says the border is being closed. There is going to be, so everyone who's still traveling through, got your visa, nothing is, even some people still be exempt, even though they have no valid papers. But asylum, that's just about seeking asylum. It has nothing to do with NVC. They're not even yeah. But anyway, okay, I think we got all questions. I believe so. Yep. Okay. That was quick. Straight to the point. So anyway, all right, people. That yeah. If you look close, my eyes are kind of red. But listen, when we think that God cannot even outdo himself anymore, he does. And because he still remains God that keeps outdoing himself, in spite of how gloomy and how hopeless the situation may look. Cases like this really, really fires me up. See, because I have something so similar, and that even motivates me to even. We're still in the works of that. And it was one thing about the way I do my cases is because, like in my firm, when we have cases like this, we've got to do affidavits, and my affidavits, I don't leave it to the clients to go figure out what to write. I will give you questionnaires. So those are questionnaires that I did myself, not paid somebody, because, and I try to tailor it to each specific person's case so that you're telling your story to someone who's probably not even going to meet you, especially in bad cases, but even if they're going to meet you, you want to, Dan Dave Empire. Anyway, we tell it so that it's telling your story, and so I think that really helps to really make the person who's reviewing your file have an insight into your life, into your story, into your immigration history, and so it gives you hope. So because God still is going to do this. And this is not the last case. This is not the first case. He's still in the business of miracles. I pray that this, you know, resonates with us to know that even though it may look impossible, insurmountable, that as long as, Miss Kim and I spoke with her and the script she had, but she said she had been praying. There's nothing prayer cannot change. It's one thing to do the legal work and paperwork, and that's great. My work doesn't stop there. There's every single case we send out, it has to go out under a word of prayer. Do some of those cases come back and deny? Absolutely. It doesn't change the fact that it went out with a prayer. It doesn't change the fact that I believe so much that I may not understand why it didn't go the way we planned, but I believe it went out under the anointing of the Most High. And as long as it still remains God, I will keep doing that. So let's keep believing, let's keep trusting that even though, whose report will you believe? We have to believe the report of the Lord. Thank you. We have to believe the report of the Lord. And as long as it remains God, that he continues to increase so that we may decrease, that he will continue to be magnified and our testimonies will continue to get bigger and better, God willing. And I'll see you guys probably not next week, probably the upper week, because I have to be in a conference. So we'll just see how things go. But keep believing, keep hoping against hope. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.